Welcome to the Vernon Hills Update. The update offers information about a variety of village services. You'll meet a few of your neighbors and you'll find out about upcoming events. On today's show, we'll talk to a good neighbor to know, longtime village trustee Cindy Hebda, who is retiring from the Vernon Hills Village Board. We'll visit the new BSA Scout headquarters, which recently moved from Highland Park to Vernon Hills. We'll stop by Hartman Park to learn about the upcoming National Night Out planned for Tuesday, August 7th from 4 to 8 p.m. We'll also review some important summer security resources and suggestions courtesy of the Vernon Hills Police Department. We'll remind everyone about Summer Celebration planned for Thursday, July 19th through Sunday, July 22nd at Century Park. And we'll introduce the newly crowned Vernon Hills Queens, as well as thank our outgoing team of Goodwill Ambassadors for the village. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.
From time to time, we like to introduce you to good neighbors to know. We've got a good neighbor who's not going to be a neighbor much longer. We're with Cindy Hebda, who's been a longtime Vernon Hills resident, Vernon Hills Park District preschool teacher, and trustee for a long time. So, and you're getting ready to retire out of this joint.
Yes, I am. After 25 years of being known as Miss Cindy in the preschool and as trustee Hebda on the board, we are moving to Fishers, Indiana to be closer to family. And they say that teachers make the best grandparents, and I have a 1-year-old grandson, so I am going there to spend some time with him. But it will be bittersweet because I do love our community. It's been a wonderful journey, and I will miss a lot of people here, but that's the plan.
Yeah, that's a good reason. And you waited a whole year. I bet you've been antsy that whole time.
You know, we have. Larry and I, my husband Larry and I, talked a lot about retirement. I'll share, I'm 62, and Larry's 64, so he's still going to work, which is a good thing, so I can spend the money. But we talked about where we wanted to be, and we're both Purdue grads, and so we are closer to the Hoosier area where we kind of met each other, and my husband is from Northwest Indiana, so we're going kind of back home, but we're very excited about it. It's going to be a change, and we'll just see where life leads us on this next chapter and adventure. So,
well, let's talk about this adventure. How did you actually get to Vernon Hills? Because there's very few people you meet that say, oh, I was born here, because Vernon Hills wasn't much not that long ago.
Right. I'm originally from upstate New York, near Buffalo, and Larry is from Hammond, Indiana, and we met in college. He went to work for John Deere for 13 years, and we had Steph at that time, our daughter, and then he got an opportunity to work with Hewitt & Associates. So coming up here, we looked at housing. Coming from the Quad Cities was quite a shock reality on housing prices, but our realtor took us into Vernon Hills, and we found a home in Deer Path that met our needs, and so we settled here around the 4th of July in 1988, and ironically, we're moving out around the 4th of July in 2018, so it's been 30 years that we've been in the village. So,
well, and think about that 30 years. If you're new to the village, which so many people are because we have had that boom of housing, Vernon Hills there wasn't a lot of a footprint for us.
When you look at Target and toys, there was nothing there. I remember it was just a cornfield, and there wasn't a whole lot around, but there was the mall. And when my husband came up to interview, he said, Cindy, there's a Macy's, and we're good to go. It's a great mall. And so it kind of attracted us to the area, but there has been a lot of development, and I have been pleased to be a part of that on the board here in Vernon Hills, to see it grow and evolve and become just an outstanding community. Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about that development, because we've talked to people like Adeline Geocaris and Barb Williams and these people, before, where they saw the development coming and they had to put some parameters in place so that it just wasn't willy-nilly and chaotic. There were a lot of things put in place for you all, but can you kind of talk about how a community, how a village board has to kind of have their eyes open and their ears around everything so that they can make sure it's comes together correctly?
Well, absolutely. We work so hard. And when you look at when I first was appointed on the board by the mayor in 1993, there was a learning curve for me personally, but just to look at the plans and the development and make sure that it meets the infrastructure, that the roadways are there to accommodate what we've got going on. I mean, those are all pieces and components that make it really important for our community to grow and prosper and meet those needs with the residents that live here. So I know I was known as the tree lady when I first came on the board because landscaping was important to me. I liked a nice, clean streetscape. I was so pleased that we don't have on-street parking during certain times because I wanted things to look clean and neat. If you'll come to my home or my classroom, that's the way I was. So that was a real big piece for me to learn. But just the engineering designs, all of that are such an important part of what we do in our village. The architecture, looking at what's not mundane, what's unique, what's different. One of the pieces that I really enjoyed working on was Centennial Crossings. That was a charrette process that we went through, and I love the idea of how that turned out and how that look is somewhat different from where you see like tract housing going on. So, but I think each little neighborhood has its uniqueness. Hawthorne Club is where we live now, has its uniqueness. Deer Path has some of its uniqueness. I think the thing about Deer Path is they've got the mature trees, which are really, really nice. And then you've got Greg's Landing, which was a huge, huge undertaking. The meetings that we went to would go on till midnight or 1 a.m. So you'd come home, your mind would try to turn off and it couldn't. So those were all big, significant parts of what I was involved in. And I guess the last piece that I'm so excited about is Melody Farms. I do intend to come back for that opening. I've asked the mayor if I could be there for that, but being a community where we have foresight to think about giving tax incentives to bring things into our community so that we stay viable and solid, so that way residents have good roads, good sidewalks, good police, good fire protection. All of those are a strong component, and we wanted that in our community to balance out so that we have some monies to spend on other things that we like to do. So those were important to me, very important to me, and I'm glad I was a part of that. So.
When we talk about some of the partnerships, like you mentioned, roads and police services and fire services, even just, we didn't have Vernon Hills High School. We didn't have the Aspen Drive Library. We didn't have as many elementary schools as we did. Now, all those things go under other boards of jurisdictions, but the village board has to kind of work with all those things together.
Sure, and I know that at times the relationships get a little stressful, but there are other good working relationships. We worked with the Park District, given them monies to be able to take over the Y to develop their daycare and fitness center. When the high school came into being, we really worked with the Nike site land, and we got that through Congressman Porter for, I think it was like $1 or $2, and gave the land to the high school so they could build their school. We've worked with Hawthorne to be able to give them assistance where possible and supporting their initiatives to build some of these various schools that we've got on the sites right now off of Aspen. So that is so important. We got a library. We worked with the library district to bring a library, which I was so pleased to be a part of. We even got our own post office. That was a real pull and struggle, and I know that when Steve Henley was on the board, who also pushed that, and I worked with him, we've worked to get that here. So all those little amenities are so important to your community, and the way you do it is not down in Springfield. You do it in your local communities, and you get involved that way. When I first moved here, I got involved with the PTO, knowing that I wanted to understand the school system. And then from there also was with the Park District. My daughter went to the preschool there. So, and I wasn't working, so I had those opportunities to volunteer, to get involved, and just be able to be a part of it. And then the knock came on my door in '93 to say, Cindy, would you like to serve on the village board? And it was just a great opportunity to say, yeah, I need to do something more for the residents, and being a part of it was really important to me. So that's worked out good. And then I started to teach, started teaching as Miss Cindy, as many kids. If I had every kid vote for me, I would have been in like Flint. So, but it's all been really fun. The kids have been great, and I've enjoyed them. I just hope I've made a difference in their lives and gotten to know the families and the moms and dads out there, and telling them how important it is to be able to be a part of the community, and don't sit back and just let it happen. Get involved as much as they could. So it's been good.
And there's a lot of ways to get involved. I know that, like you said, volunteer, just pay attention. And it isn't just the village board, it's the school boards, it's the library boards, it's all these things, and most of them put their meetings online if you can't make it to the meeting.
We were, actually, the village board was one of the first boards in the community to televise its board meetings. And I know that was a great initiative so that we could reach out and let people know what is going on in our community. And I believe most all of the boards now, from park district to library to school boards, all videotape. So if you can't go to a meeting, then at least you can watch it on cable. But the best part is to come to a meeting and to be able to really see the interactions and understand it. When we've got the Eagle Scouts that come in for their badges, or we've done the student government days, so that kids understand that it's not just sitting up here on the dais and smiling and talking into the microphone. It's understanding the initiatives and being able to express yourself in a positive way. Of course, there's always challenges, and you have to have tough skin sometimes, because we're not going to please everybody, but we're going to try to make that effort as best possible. So yes, it's important for people to watch and learn, and hopefully maybe some of my students someday will be sitting up there on the dais doing what they need to do, because at your local level, that is truly where you can make a huge difference, and that's where you need to start. I mean, some people start at the local level and then move themselves up, but the local level is really very critical to our lifestyle and our quality of life.
Right, and a local level has so much need. I mean, there's so many boards, and there's so many leadership positions that need people who take the time to do their homework, read the packets when they get it, and then talk to the community and come back with thoughtful responses that help all of us in the community. I mean, that's a huge responsibility, but it's an important one.
Right, and it's people ask me how much time I put into the board meetings, and usually I would say that I give between about 10 to 15 hours a week just on my own time looking at the information. We used to get the packets all on paper, and now we've gone green with the tablets, and I remember getting these huge packets to go through, and the budget too. That's another huge amount of perusing and understanding and learning from as well. So it's just, it's good to give the time. And I had a daughter who was in first grade, and so I was able to juggle it around. We were able to balance our schedules out so that I could do what I needed to do. So it's something that I think is unique to me personally, that I was able to do this, and I hope that people will consider it down the road if they're looking at some way of getting involved, that it's rewarding and it's gratifying, and hopefully, like I said, I can walk away knowing that I made a little bit of a difference in the people here in the village of Vernon Hills.
Well, I will say yes. Big differences were made. So we thank you for all you've done. Thank you for the time you've given. Thank you on behalf of your students and people here in the community. So with that, we'll just say best wishes and go Hoosiers, or whatever you're supposed to say.
I'm going to say go Boilermakers, because we're Purdue fans, and I just want people to know that our home is always open. We'll be in Fishers, and you can find us down there. We're very excited about it. Our daughter, actually the kids that are listening, she is one of the research workers at the Children's Museum in Indianapolis, which is one of the largest museums in the country. And so I've told my kids, come and visit me. We'll meet for lunch. We'll go through the exhibits. We'll just have a lot of fun. And certainly, I'm not leaving Vernon Hills. I will be back up for different things. I do want to come back for some of the events, because we do have friends. We've made friendships up here, and I've told people it's not goodbye. It's till we meet again. So that's the way we look at it. So, but thank you so much for all of the support, the kind words. And again, we're excited about the next adventure. It should be good.
We are at a new organization here in town. I was going to call it business. We're over in the business park, though, at the beautiful new Scout store, which has moved from Highland Park over to Vernon Hills, and this is a headquarters for all around here, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Jim Westfall, now Assistant Scout Executive for Northeast Illinois Council of Boy Scouts of America. Did I get that sort of right?
That is correct. Big fancy title. So basically, I'm like the Chief Operating Officer for the Boy Scouts here in Northern Cook County and Lake County. So we serve about 12,000 total scouts and 3,000 volunteers in our area. So very exciting times.
Well, this is a big area. Then there's a lot of scout activity around here, and it always has been. But how did you end up? You've been in Highland Park for years and years. How'd you get over here?
So we were in Highland Park, I believe, the year is 1972. We used to be right on Highway 41. I bet you lots of people have seen the office driving by it. And we had the opportunity through some transactions with the local car dealership over there, Poly Accurates, bought our office and provided us the income to look for a new office. And Vernon Hills is very central to us. And so we looked at location-wise, and I think really what drew us to this location is the beautiful surrounds. It's raining today, and we won't see that as much, but the beautiful woods around our building. We're planning to put a little nature trail in beyond the building and a fire pit and some further stuff so the kids can actually come use this as a program area to another little place where the units can come do little campfires and little lessons outside and that kind of stuff. But very central, great location, and we sort of like not having to pull right into Highway 41, which we used to have to do. It was a little bit intimidating at times to pull onto that busy highway. So it's a very exciting place to be
You are tucked back up in here, but it is an easy in and out once you know where you're going. So
yeah, very much. I think it's, people are going to find it and use our Google, but it's easy to get in and out of. And then we have all the, for a lot of our meetings and stuff, a lot of local restaurants that we can use and stuff like that. So we're very excited. Our staff is very excited to be moved here, and the volunteers are loving it.
Well, and talk about you moved here not that long ago. You did have a giant open house celebration not that long ago. So, I mean, you're already up, the store is open, everything's ready.
That's right. We sort of did our final move in around June 1st. We had a dedication on June 2nd and a couple hundred volunteers out here to celebrate with us and recognize some of our key donors also that helped to, not only do we get to move in here and not have to take out a loan of any kind, we've actually endowed the building, and so the building is going to stay very nice, almost $500,000 in endowment that we raised to support the building so it stays a very up-to-date and beautiful building for all of our volunteers and members.
Yeah, that's nice to know. You've got the endowment, so it's actually a positive for the families who are involved in this. It isn't anything extra.
You bet. Yeah, no, it wasn't nothing. We really went to our rank and file families and said, help us do this. This was something that was done. And our believers and our donors got behind it and really got excited. And we just had a board meeting in here last night for the first time with our full board, and they're all very excited to be here. So it's great. It's a win for our council and for the Boy Scouts in this area.
Well, and it sure will be easier to pick up patches and shirts and all those things you need to just zip in and zip right out. Beautiful store, beautiful facility. Let's talk about, in addition to the facility here and how you work with everybody, you mentioned some numbers about how many people are involved. Can you give just a very general explanation of like the ranks? I mean, how old does a young person need to be? And I say young person because Boy Scouts have changed their name to BSA, yep. Meaning there's no gender specification. Anybody can be part of this. Yes,
there's no gender specification, especially right now. So on our younger program called Cub Scouts, they can join as young as kindergarten. So we have kindergartners that have been joining this spring, or kids going into kindergarten, I should say, for next year. On that program's runs all the way to 5th grade, gender neutral, boys and girls, families. What I really call Cub Scouting, it's a family program. It is about families coming together, having a lot of fun, and then just teaching some basic values to each other. And maybe this family's good at teaching this skill, and this family's good at teaching this skill. I always say I don't do crafts, but I can teach you how to cook, right, on a fire. So I think everybody brings their skills, and it's amazing. I think parents sometimes join and wonder what they're getting into, and by the time they leave 5th grade, they got friends for life. Mm-hmm. Not only the kids, but the parents themselves have friends for life. And that's really what Cub Scouts is about. And then Scouts BSA, which is our middle school program, for those of us that have been around scouting for a while, it used to be called the Boy Scout program, and now it's Scouts BSA. That goes from 6th grade all the way up to 12th grade, 18 years old. And that, starting on February 1st, will also be available for girls to join. And we're in the process right now of getting that word out and working with our different troops and helping them get ready for that. And that's still about families. It's still about volunteers. Like I said, we serve 12,000 kids, and I have 7 full-time staff that support that out in the field. So if you think about that, that's a huge ratio of kids to staff. So it's really about volunteers. That's programs about leadership, and it's about those kids learning how to lead. Young folks, planning and leading and thinking. And the prime example I use is a lot of our programs go camping every month, and that group of young people will take and have to cook a meal. Well, all 12-year-olds love to cook, and they just love it. They come up with really interesting meals, and then I have a young man or a young woman that's going to be in charge of a group of 6, 8, 10 other young people, and they're going to have to say, let's go do the dishes. And that's leadership, because any parent knows that 12-year-olds and dishes don't exactly go together. And so that program is about leadership. We have venturing, which is our high school age program, so 14 actually to 21. It's about boys and girls being together. It's been that way for a long time, and they come together and they can do a wide variety of stuff. A lot of venturings based on going outdoors, high adventure trips, traveling to New Mexico or to Canada, or even locally and going into Wisconsin to places like Devil's Lake and going climbing up and down the rock walls. And that program is, again, even more youth-led. And in fact, even in the regional area that we call a council, the youth plan everything that happened on that level. They don't have volunteers planning their activities. And then another program is exploring. And exploring is, again, coeducational. It's boys and girls working together. It starts nowadays. They just brought the age down a couple years ago. It starts as young as 6th grade and goes all the way to 21. It's about learning about careers. So Lincolnshire Police, Vernon Hills Police all have Explorer posts. Actually, we're looking to start one, and we're all ready to start recruiting kids this fall at Seminix, which is right over in the same business park we're in here. So it can be police work, fire work, medical work. Rosalind Franklin just started a program over in North Chicago. So teaching kids before they go to college about careers, and maybe they decide the career is not for them. And maybe they decide it is. And then they learn maybe what kind of college they need. And for some of our careers out there, they don't need a college. They just need to go to CLC or something like that. And so to educate kids, we're working really hard locally here to work with skilled trades, because right now in the skilled trades area, 10,000 jobs in Illinois go unfilled every day in skilled trades. And so to work with some of those companies so we can involve kids and teach them about maybe jobs that they don't even realize are out there.
Well, as you say, skilled trades, then are you open to, if you have if there's a company, an organization out there, and they're like, I would love to connect, and I'd like to start teaching and building the workforce. That's somebody can give you a call?
That would be a great thing, actually. We'd love to work with them. And everybody, I think right now our employment pool is about as thin as it's been in years. So yes, very much so. We'd love to work with you. We recently have started talking with the Illinois Landscaping Association, and we're trying to get something set up with them. NARI, the National Association of Remodelers, home remodeling, is looking to start exploring. So yeah, if you've got a business out there, I drive around and sometimes see the signs that say, come, we need these positions. Come, we'll talk at the end about a phone number and stuff and put that out there, but contact us. We'll come meet with you. We'll help you plan the program. We'll help you connect with the schools. We'll provide some insurance, and we'll get a program going with you. And it's really about teaching your love, which is your career and your industry, and providing that next pool. Some of these police posts that's the most common type is police work. They've been around for years and years and years and years. Lincolnshire, I know very well. There's a leader over there named Jamie Watson who's tremendous. They've produced probably hundreds and hundreds of police officers through their years. And one of the reasons police departments do it is produce the next police officer. They're looking for the next pool. So it's a great opportunity to improve your employment pool.
Well, and when you talk about if you're a parent watching and you're like, okay, I kind of get the feel that there's a wide range of interests, there's a wide range of things my child could hook up with. And also everybody that's working goes through training.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are really kind of cutting edge on the part about your processes, your procedures, your training. Even if I'm a parent volunteer, I have to have a certain level of training and awareness, or as much as you need volunteers, I won't be on a camp out.
That's
So that's very positive.
Yeah, we want to make sure we do lots of fun things, right? We take kids everywhere from building a craft to, like I said, going climbing on climbing walls, to going sailing down. And my son and I actually got a chance to spend a time on an island in Florida. So the adventures never end. But one of the first things we do as an organization is make sure all kids are in a safe place. And so what that means is we want to make sure there's rules and policies in place that prevent child abuse. We are going to make sure child abuse doesn't happen in the Boy Scouts of America. There's training required for our volunteers. We do background checks on our volunteers. We don't allow any one-on-one associations. Everything's done in groups, done safely. We are a mandatory reporter, so if something does happen, we'll immediately go to the police department. And really, truly, I believe we are leading the way as an organization in youth protection and making sure that our children have the chance to take risks, have fun, and learn new things, but do that in a very safe environment where they don't have to worry about any kind of abuse.
Well, and as you say, you're on the cutting edge. I mean, just you have a policy called Too Deep. That alone is no adult will even email or call a scout unless other people are in on that communication. That's very strong. I think it's stronger than about any organization you'll see, but it's always that adult remembering that we need more people in this loop at all times to watch out for the kids.
That is correct. Yeah, we don't allow all communication has to be too deep, all outings have to do too deep. We don't allow an adult to drive a kid in a car unless it's your own child without at least another person in the car. So lots of policies. And again, all of our volunteers go through the training. And I believe that all of our volunteers take it very seriously and are very good at self-policing also. And actually, it's funny because, again, my son's now 17, has been in the program. I'll say boys, and then they reach our kids when they reach a certain age, they become self-policing too. They start understanding what those rules are, and we teach them about that. And they'll say it. You know, I need to make sure that if I'm going to send an email to one of the leaders, I need to add somebody. And they realize that too. And sometimes they'll forget because they're teenagers. But we'll remind them, you know, you need to make sure that you're putting another adult on that email or that text message. There's so many ways to communicate nowadays. So especially when you start working with 13-year-olds, you figure out that texting is the way and not emails. But yeah, no, there's those policies that are in place. We just updated nationally our videos and our trainings. It's all online available, and it does a very good job of indicating. And that's something as parents we all need to be concerned about. We all want to keep our kids safe, and it's key to keep them safe and good programming, but it still allow them the chance, again, I believe, to go out and, let's say, get dirty, get muddy, have fun, take risks. Yes, go camping. And camping for us it's just not about camping. You can camp as a family, and I encourage you to do that. Camping is where we teach leadership. Camping is our classroom. That's where, again, you take a young person and say, lead a group of 40 people and just lead them through the process of setting up camp in a rainstorm or just having to tear down camp and just dealing with those challenges. And that's leadership. We do some leadership training where we talk about leadership with kids, but really what we do is we say, go lead, young man or young woman. And it's amazing. You'll see kids that join at 11 and they can barely tie their shoes. And by the time they're 17, you know that they've got it, and you can sense it, and they're going to be good citizens. They're going to be good employees. They're what we need as adults. When you talk about sometimes the younger generation, I'll have people say they scare them, and they don't scare me, by the way, but I think that leadership is tremendous, and we do it naturally. We do it just by allowing the kids to learn and fail and learn again and fail, all in a very safe place.
Mm-hmm. And I have the opportunity to work with, for instance, Troop 273. I mean, there's so many young people involved in these programs, so many Eagle Scouts coming out of our area, so many high-achieving leaders, and I watch firsthand to see how they develop that confidence, and it's a very natural evolution. It isn't like, let's sit down at a training like we would at a company and go through the 7 steps of leadership. Yeah. It is, what didn't work? What did work? How's this going to go? And it's really important for achievement in the future.
Yeah, very much so. We're not pulling the Franklin Covey series. I mean, anybody in business has been through those courses, and they're all good. But no, we are about, again, to me, it's leadership and learning through failure and allowing kids to learn and do everything from planning the calendar to planning the locations they want to go to. And honestly, even helping set the budgets, and then I know my son's troop up in Lindenhurst, we work with the kids to say, let's talk about the budget and make sure you understand why we need to go raise money and what it costs. And it's a learning situation for them, very much so. And again, everything, we actually have a young man here locally. We have an organization of honor campers called Order the Arrow. It has about 1,000 members. That is ran by a kid that's 19 years old. So we have a 19-year-old that's planning, budgets and plans for this large organization. Starting on Sunday, we'll have a camp up in Wisconsin with 200 staff members, 150 staff members. Most of them are 17, 18, and 19, and they're up there teaching other young scouts, having lots of fun. And it's funny, I say for 7 weeks, we're the second biggest city in Antigo, or up by Antigo up there, up in Land Lake County. So we'll have almost 2,200 scouts go to our camp this summer, 2,300 we're up to now with some of our high adventure trips we do as far away as Texas. So we have young people coming from Texas and Connecticut come up to our camp up in Wisconsin. So That's one of the things as a council and a local Boy Scout organization. We have a great camp. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. And I actually get to go there later today, so I'm very excited.
Glad we got you before you had to
That's
leave.
right.
Well, I want to check in with you on one more thing. So if somebody wants to get involved, what's the easiest way to put your toe in and figure it out?
That's correct. So a couple things you can do. You can always call us here where we have a receptionist. I'll answer the phone and get you connected. 847-433-1813 is our phone number. And then there's a great website, just got updated, called bascout.org. And that has every single pack, so younger kids, the troops, which are the middle school, crews and posts that are, our high school age programs, all on a map. And that map's got contact information, and adults and parents can go in there and say, I'm interested, all the way to saying, I'm applying today. And they can go right on there and apply today, and we'll get them accepted in and get them into their different programs and activities. Scouting is a year-round thing. A lot of our programs will meet in the summer and have fun. It's a little busier in the school year. The other thing I would say to all parents is a lot of our scouts also do sports. It's not an either-or situation. You can do both, and there's actually studies out there that show if you have a young man or a young woman in sports in a character development program like scouting, the impact is really huge. And I challenge parents to realize that, and I know we all love our sports, but to understand that the character that scouting teaches is lifelong. And I won't promise you that your young man or young woman is going to be the pro athlete, but if they get to that rank of Eagle Scout, I will promise you that their career opportunities and scholarship opportunities are going to open up for them. Military moves them up ranks. It just opens up opportunities. And I always say if the kid works hard, that Eagle Scout rank can be achieved by anybody. Unlike an athletic sports program where, you can have a lot of fun and have great times. I did it, but you're not guaranteed to be the pro athlete, which obviously I'm not. So that's a good example of that.
Well, I'm so glad to come in here and see your facility, show everybody what we've got here as a good new neighbor here in Vernon Hills. If people want to learn more, remember, go online, ask questions, find out where your local group is and go ask questions there. But there is opportunity all over the place. And go online is the easiest place. So
and feel free to stop in. If you're not a scout, come see the store. We have camping gear. We actually have, I see a family in our store right now buying our mosquito netting, which is really cool. It pops up and it surrounds you. It's really cool stuff. But we have backpacks and tents and all kinds of camping gear. So if you're in the Vernon Hills area and you want to come, and we're competitive with any retail shop on that kind of stuff, feel free, stop in. If you want to rebuild your Pinewood Derby cart because you haven't done one for a few years, come in and do that. We'll help you do all of that stuff. So that would be wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting us in. Everybody come on, stop by the BSA's headquarters, the store, go online, learn more. If this is of interest, really pursue it. We're really fortunate up here in this area for how active and how many opportunities there are. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Well, we are in beautiful Hartman Park. We're with Kim Christensen from the Vernon Hills Police Department. So we know it's summer because we know we're here to talk about National Night Out. Can you tell everybody when that's coming up?
Once again, our 23rd National Night Out, Tuesday, August 7th. It's Tuesday, August 7th across the country, National Night Out, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. right here at Hartman Park on Oakwood Road.
Well, and as you pointed out, it is across the country. It's National Night Out, so a lot of the communities around here, but thousands of police departments have been doing this as a way to reach out and get involved.
It's a wonderful way for develop great police-community relations, enhance police-community relations, give the people something fun to do and a night out and interact a little bit. It's a great opportunity and a fun time.
So 23rd?
It's our 23rd National Night Out. It started 23 years ago with like softball games and small things, and 10 or 12 years ago, and even longer than that, it evolved into the event that it is today.
Let's talk about the event that it will be today, because last year you had beautiful weather, wonderful crowds. They were lined up for free food. I mean, let's even just go into the free food you can get here, because Chick-fil-A, and between Chick-fil-A and the guys that are cooking, there's food.
Yes, it's great. We have, hot dogs, chips, pop, ice cream. Probably one of the best things we have. And last year was the first time, and they agreed to come back. Chick-fil-A is bringing their truck out. Last year, they served 2,600 of the Chick-fil-A hot Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches, and they did them right here on the site. It's awesome. And last I heard, they had agreed to come back again this year. So
They didn't get scared off by the crowds because it was crowds over here.
there was probably about 1,500 people we estimated it to be based on what we went through. In addition to the 2,600 chicken sandwiches, it was about 1,000 bottles of water, about the same number cans, about 1,000 cans of pop, 600 or 700 ice cream bars, and 2,600 chicken sandwiches. So there was a lot of food consumed that day.
And that's all free thanks to donations and all that kind of stuff. You got a lot of sponsors helping you.
Yes, it some of the stuff is purchased by us, but we do have a lot of people helping us, including A to Z Entertainment, which this jockey does a fantastic job getting all the kids involved in dancing and a lot of music. We have Record a Hit, which is wonderful with their inflatables every year. We have Mario Tricoci University from Libertyville has again agreed to come out and face paint for the little kids, or adults too, I guess, if you want your face paint.
I got to interrupt on that. This isn't just some face painting like you get a little ladybug on your face. It's a full-on artistic work of art.
It is. They send over a lot of students from the university up in Libertyville, and so this is what they do, and it's wonderful. Countryside Fire Department, we're going to get them out again. If it's a nice hot day, they'll get their water thing going. What else?
Volleyball?
Oh, we will be playing volleyball. Yeah, we got the courts right behind us here. Trying to get a couple teams, maybe 1 or 2 teams of police officers to play. Maybe take on a couple teams throughout the community. If there's anybody out there, any citizens, residents that want to put a team together, give me a call, and we can see if we can work something out. I don't know exactly how it's going to work yet, but I'm open to phone calls on that.
Let's remind everybody that's Tuesday, August 7th, Hartman Park, which is off Oakwood Road, kind of on the, I guess you'd say, the southwest corner of the village?
Exactly. Yeah, it's near the corner of Westmoreland and Oakwood Road. It's going to be great, and I certainly have to thank our Public Works Department. Without them helping set the thing up, it'd be impossible.
And the Park District.
Of course, the Park District. They get the sand volleyball courts in pristine condition. They're trimming bushes and the grass and everything else. So on the day in question, it's awesome.
Just one more of those things where it's a community effort. It is the police department's national night out, but it is always a community effort when we do something around here, and that's what's great about working together.
It sure is, and people have a lot of fun. And working together, we've always had the bookmobile from the library, Cook Memorial Library should come out. I'm working on that again, but I don't see why they wouldn't be here again like always. And I don't think I forgot anybody. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, well, and come on out here and see for yourself. That's what people need to do because it's fun, it's free, it's family friendly, it's all neighborhood. So.
Any questions, give me a call. The number that you're going to see on the screen in a minute.
And there's information online. You can look at pictures and everything else. So very fun time. So that's the fun of National Night Out. Now, before we go, we always like to check in with you because as people are out and about more, walking the neighborhoods, moving around, you get more. Sometimes it's a chance for some crimes of opportunity. As we're out and about, maybe we go to the backyard and go in at night and we haven't paid attention to securing our property. Can you remind us how important it is to just keep the cars locked?
Yeah, well, absolutely. And over the past several years with some communities in the summer, they'll experience a theft of actually burglary to vehicles or a theft of the vehicles. People have the habit of leaving their keys or their fobs in these new cases inside the vehicle. And on a beautiful, beautiful warm weather, the criminal element will be out there in some areas just rattling car doors. And if they get in, they'll press the button. Sometimes it starts, sometimes it doesn't. But it's so important to leave your car locked, leave your home. And you're absolutely right, Lynn. Thank you for bringing up that those things are crimes of opportunity. Try to remember when you go to bed to keep your garage door closed. Double check it. Keep your garage door closed. And always keep the door locked that goes from your garage into your home. All right. If you leave your car in your driveway with the garage door opener in there, it's as good as an unlocked garage. If somebody gets into your car, they're in your garage. Well, if the door is locked going into your home, they can't get in easily. So there's different steps you can take to protect yourself in the summer.
Just simple stuff. Simple stuff. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Certainly
And
call 911 if you see anything suspicious, hear anything unusual. We want you to call 911. A suspicious vehicle, a person, a noise, whatever. Don't think about, well, should I call, should I not call? We want you to call.
911. And when we talk about that too, if somebody is going to be gone, especially for an extended period, they can get a little more peace of mind by signing up for a vacation house watch. And can you explain what that is?
Well, a lot of communities have vacation house watches and home watches, and we're the same. If you're going away for a night or for a month or whatever the case may be, contact us and we will set up a home watch at your home. We'll have an employee of the department and we'll check it on a regular basis, be sure everything's okay. You can do that online. You can do it over the phone, or you can do it online, something fairly new. Go off our website, vhpd.com, and in the How Do I section at the top, you can request a vacation watch right online, or you could do it over the phone as well. Visit our website. There's a link right on our website, vhpd.com, where more information about that. And it's a great service, something we highly recommend you doing, in addition to other home security tips when you're on vacation.
Pretty simple stuff, all free, so just habits that we have to get into. And on that same page where you can, same web page where you can get a vacation house watch, you can also do overnight parking. So if you've got guests and you can't accommodate them in the driveway, you don't even have to call dispatch anymore. You can just click on in the web page.
That can be done online too, in the same link, requesting overnight parking permission. Now, if you need extended parking permission because of a lot of cars for the summer or whatever the case may be, where it goes beyond the normal period of time, you can also request a permit. And again, there's a link on our website with all information on how to go about requesting an extended permit.
Yeah, that extended parking permit, that's kind of a new thing. That just happened this spring. So if you've had problems when kids come home from school and you don't know what to do with all the cars, this is for you. So.
Absolutely. And while I'm on it, but if you're going away on vacation, in addition to calling the police department for a house watch or a home watch, I said that's one of many things you can do. Certainly, take other security steps to protect your home. Have the mail stopped. You have the newspaper stopped. Nothing shows people, nothing tells a stranger there's no one home than having 5 newspapers sitting on your porch or in your driveway. Things like that. Use a timer. Keep your property locked. Give the key to a neighbor or a trusted neighbor or a relative and have them check your property from time to time and make it look lived in. Be sure the grass is cut. All kinds of tips like that are almost free to do. Most of them are free to do, but they can do so much to protect your property, protect your home.
Like you said, stop in the mail and all that. You can do that online too. So if you forget
sure.
and you're on a beautiful vacation somewhere, you can go online and square it away right now. So that's what we hope people do. So.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you for those tips. Thank you for keeping us safe all summer. Thank you to all the crew at Vernon Hills Police Department. We know we should call 911 or go on to vhpd.com or the Facebook page as information.
Fantastic. Appreciate that very much. And hope to see everybody on Tuesday, August 7th for our National Night Out, 4 o'clock p.m. at Hartman Park.
Here's your reminder to be sure to attend this year's Vernon Hills Summer Celebration. The event will take place from Thursday, July 19th through Sunday, July 22nd at beautiful Century Park. Along with the many rides, games, children's activities, and food vendors, there will be plenty of free musical entertainment taking to the stage. On Thursday, July 19th at 7 p.m., Henneberry kicks things off, bringing their local vibes and rock covers to the stage. The evening will also include a fireworks display taking place at approximately 9:30 p.m. On Friday, July 20th from 7 to 11 p.m., Modern Day Romeos and Mike and Joe team up to bring back some of your favorite songs from the 90s to today. They are both always a fan favorite and 2 of the most watched cover bands in the Midwest. Then on Saturday, July 21st at 7 p.m., enjoy the music from the James Barker Band as they bring their country sound to Vernon Hills. And then at 9 p.m. on Saturday, July 21st, it's David Nail taking to the stage, making his first ever appearance at Summer Celebration. Bringing his chart hits, Red Light, and Whatever She's Got, this is sure to be a concert you won't want to miss. That brings us to the final day on Sunday, July 22nd, and at 5 p.m., come take the stage yourself at the 2nd Annual Summer Celebration Karaoke Contest. Open to anyone 16 years and older. This year's event also includes a car and bike show on Sunday, July 22nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the 6th Annual Bags Tournament taking place at Century Park. Registration is required and available at summercell.com. All of these events, along with kids' activities, including face painting, balloon artists, and free crafts, on Saturday, July 21st from 1 to 3 p.m. and Sunday, July 22nd from 1 to 5 p.m. Vernon Hills Summer Celebration takes place Thursday, July 19th through Sunday, July 22nd at Century Park. For more information, call 847-367-3700 or visit summercell.com. And we hope to see everyone out at this year's Summer Celebration.
Now take your final walk at Little Miss Vernon Hills. Congratulations. Congratulations to our new Little Miss Vernon Hills 2018 contestant number 1, Jayla Wasco. Ladies, are you ready? Our new Junior Miss Vernon Hills 2018 is contestant number 1, Haley Kalinowski. Our new Miss Vernon Hills 2018 is contestant number 1, Madeline Gutierrez.
If you have comments or suggestions, please contact Mike Storto at 847-918-3560 or email mikes@thehills.org. Thank you for tuning into the Vernon Hills Update.